Hey guys, Steve here from theturtlefollower.com with your strategy session for Wednesday, October 22nd. Apologize that there was no video last night. We had a couple things come up, but nothing bad, just some good family time. So we're going to get back to taking a look at the markets and actually going ahead and let's review the last few days of action. So the market pulled back today after a strong move off the lows. You can see here we have three nice big green open candles. Great action off the bottom. Definitely helped us recoup some of the losses we had last week. And we pretty much topped out right where we expected, right? The backside of these uptrend lines. We broke that downtrend line that had been in play. Broke some key resistance levels. So the next obvious place we would stop would be this uptrend line backside of it, essentially coming in what was support now becomes resistance. 50-day moving average potentially may roll over, but you could see how it's flattened out the last couple days. All right, it looked like it was coming down, and now it's starting to flatten out. So for right now, I think if we can consolidate here, that's very important. I wouldn't want to see us turn around, reverse lower. We were down on the Dow, on the S&P, we were down 12 points, not a whole lot considering what we've accumulated the last few days. Again, you could see, I've talked about this in the past, but when you have a nice big bar like this, you never really want to see it in the lower half of the bar. So we pretty much stopped right at almost halfway back in the bar, which is a good sign. So as far as the S&P goes, again, I'd like to see it consolidate here and then potentially move higher. Now the NASDAQ, okay, very similar. We broke that downtrend line. Look where we came to. We came to a previous support area. All right, we were using this 39.76 level when we came back to test, and you could see again, came right to it and tried to push through, could not, and that's to be expected after the run it's had. How many people, besides us, of course, how many people will be buying these futures after the run it's had when it's hitting this downtrend line, hitting some previous resistance areas? If you redrew this downtrend line like that, then you're right at it. So again, right now we're not out of the woods yet. The key is let's see if we can consolidate and then move higher instead of rolling back over. And if we did roll back over, I would want to see a stop probably right around this 38.50 level, put in a higher low, and maybe that gets us going with a new trend line higher. And the last one, the Dow, down the most, 0.72, 119 points. I think at one point we're down like 150, but again, right to that downtrend line, right to the backside of this uptrend line. So key area that we would expect to see some selling. And if you haven't already, definitely check out the stock market outlook video. I outlined all this at the beginning of the week, just so we kind of knew some key areas that we wanted to, the markets to push to and hold. And again, right now, I think the importance of moving forward, it's very important that we consolidate here and not necessarily roll over and test those lows again. And if we did roll over, I would want us to obviously see us put in a higher low and not go back all the way to the lows that we were at last week. So let's take a quick look at our positions. If you didn't catch the video on Tuesday night, we did enter two new positions, ROST and LB. So we'll go over those as well as our other ones. All right, so Costco here came back down to the trend line. You could see the move it's had off of that trend line. Okay, 1, 2, 3 days, and we went from about 122 up to 130. So right now you could see where we've topped out before, right around this level. Okay, we put in two topping tails, which I considered not to be necessarily topping tails because the market at that point was selling off. So at this point, we also put in another topping tail here. This looks like some exhaustion. Okay, this is a gravestone doji, meaning that we moved higher, could not sustain those levels, turned around and closed right back basically at the open. So this is a reversal signal. So I would not be surprised to see Costco come back maybe to the 127 area, find some support, build another consolidation, and then hopefully break out higher. For right now, we are still using this 120 level as our support. I think we will eventually, if we can break over this level here of 131, we'll be able to actually move our stop up to at least 122.66. At that point, we'll still have all the criteria met for a stop, being that we broke the low, the 50-day moving average, and trend line support. But for right now, Costco definitely looks better than it did last week. So let's see if it can continue with that outperformance. Home Depot tried to break out today. Again, saw some selling pressure come in. No matter where we're at with this, you could see we came in at 86.58, but no matter where we're at, we're still at the highs. All right, yes, it did not close there, but we are at the highs. We're not at the lows. So these are stocks that are outperforming the market just based on the fact that they're at their highs, while the market's not at the lows, but not nearly at the highs, somewhere in the middle. So these are stocks that should the market continue to run, I think these are going to outperform and be very successful for us. But for right now, 86.58 is our stop level. Again, we've moved so far. We moved from 86.58 to 93, almost 10% in a matter of 5 trading days. So it's to be expected that you're going to see some selling pressure. If we can turn around here, again, consolidate maybe at these highs or pull back a little bit, put in a higher low, I think that'll be a good setup moving forward. Kroger, okay, again, you can see we came back, tested that 50-day moving average. We are using $50 as our stop. I do have to go back and add this red line in. This is going to be our stop level, so I'll just keep moving these around. But $50 is our stop level. Came back in, did break down below this consolidation and the 50-day moving average slightly, but you could see it did provide a nice bounce. Again, today we tried to move higher, still closed higher on the day, up 0.75%, but obviously not near the highs. So this could have been, again, reverse, come back into say 52.69 and consolidate prior to moving higher. LB, Limited Brands, this was one that we entered on yesterday morning. We had this breakout here on the 20th, which was Tuesday. And you could see we had a nice move higher yesterday. Today, almost a bearish engulfing pattern, but not really. Actually, it is. Very slightly it is. So basically, a bearish engulfing is when the body of yesterday's candle is engulfed by the body of today's candle. So again, another reversal signal. Not surprising considering the market sold off towards the end of the day. But if we reverse, again, I think we have some quality support right here between 65.29 and 68.38. And look at where this stock is compared to where the market is. So again, another outperformer, another one that's running higher. Right now, 63.36, 63.30, I think it is, exactly, is our stop level. Pepsi up 0.78. Okay, this one closed pretty much almost at all-time closing highs. Almost. 94.65 is all-time closing highs. So, again, nice move off the $90 level. You could see here, moved up about $4 off that level. And right now we're at a point where, again, market can consolidate. Pepsi should be able to outperform going forward just because it is at the highs. There's no resistance. So I know I'm stressing that a lot, but this is the whole point of buying strength. We really want to be in what we perceive to be the strongest stocks. And with Pepsi and Home Depot and Costco and Kroger and LB, they're all at their highs. We have no resistance ahead. So yes, we're seeing some one-day patterns where we're seeing some reversal signals, but that doesn't mean that the stock is going to reverse, and break down. Especially as it's outperformed the market over the last several weeks, I would expect it to continue that outperformance. So Pepsi, stop is $90. All right. ROST. This one, let's change this real quick. Again, we're using 72.20 as our stop. That's the top of this gap after earnings. So you get moved up, moved higher. Again, still closed lower on the day. It tried to move up over yesterday's high. It didn't happen. But look at where we're closing compared to the market. All right, we're basically closing at all-time highs. Computer's a little slow. All right, look at where the market is. Okay, we're down halfway between top and low, and top and bottom. Let's say down in the oversold conditions on the linear regression channel, and instead all our stocks are at the highs, and this one actually happens to be right in the middle of the linear regression channel. So this one has some room to run. It broke that downtrend line on the weekly chart, and this is more of a reversal stock. Trend is higher. You could see that here. All right, so we're using 72.21, and again, I would expect to see some continued outperformance from ROST, from Ross Stores, just based on the pattern that it has given us over the last several weeks. It's consolidated and moved higher while the market has moved lower. So that's just a quick and dirty way to look at relative strength and assess whether your stock is outperforming or underperforming. Now, as far as the watch list goes, Travelers was one that I thought was going to trigger for us this morning. It did not. But that one's very close to triggering. Had earnings yesterday. Today, breaking out over 95.10, or I'm sorry, 95.90. So if that one can continue, that may be a potential add to the portfolio. Lockheed Martin had some earnings yesterday. I thought this was, I'm actually long this personally. I thought I was going to end up selling it yesterday, but it rallied back, had a nice afternoon. And you could see it closed right below my support level of 173. And sure enough, today it moved higher. Again, another move over 177.75 probably leads us to around the 180 level. But you could see it's consolidating right here, right around that 50-day moving average and trend line support. Let's just take a quick look through our other ones that were positive today. CenturyLink testing the bottom of that 50-day moving average. You can see how that's kind of reversed, but now what was over the 50-day moving average is now trading under it. Conagra Foods, this was one that triggered the other day, but we did not take the entry because we were maxed out in our staples allocation for the portfolio. But again, if you took it, again, another outperformer up today on a down day. Green Mountain Coffee Roaster, okay, again, triggering a good entry for you. I would like to see a little bit more conviction in that. I would like to really see another move, another open green candle that closes significantly above where we are. But the problem with this one is the stop level would probably be a little bit too far for most people to get a substantial position size, so we're going to probably pass on this one. Altria was up a little bit. Again, this was another one I thought was going to trigger. Earnings, actually, I didn't realize that earnings were coming up, so that wouldn't have triggered anyway. So as you can see, market is probably going to do some digestion of these gains that it's had. That's to be expected. The fact is our stocks are outperforming, which is a great sign. And if we can continue to get that, I think we can revisit our highs for the portfolio, add some good positions, and get back into a positive territory for the portfolio. So again, it's all a system, it's all a process. Unfortunately, it's not a get-rich-quick thing, and sometimes it can definitely try your patience. But if you have a system, you have a plan in place, you're going to be much more successful than if you go about it with no plan and no system. So that's it for tonight, guys. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the to the nightly recap on the website. Follow me on StockTwits, Twitter, Google+, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, check out the blog post I put up today, just about a couple things that I noticed in the last few weeks, and maybe it'll help you out a little bit. All right, have a great night, guys. See you tomorrow.